Hello, everybody. Normally, it's the press that asks Donald Trump the questions. But this time, Trump himself had a question, and he gave the answer himself. He spoke for a good 4 minutes about a floor and about stone. I'll read it to you. How do you like the new floor? So, we had all. What I do best is build. That's what I do best. I think I say to people, am I a better builder or politician? And most of them say politician, but that's okay. What I do best is I build. The ballroom will be just like that. So I went out and I have a special black granite. Granite is the most powerful stone there is. Marble is much weaker than granite. I like marble more because marble can be more beautiful, but it's a much weaker stone. When you look at grave sites and you look at a marble plaque 100 years old, you'll see oftentimes you can almost not read it. When you look at a granite plaque 100 years old, it looks like it just got put there yesterday. You know, that's a test. But we have the finest granite anyone's ever seen. It's called flawless granite. There's very little of it. And I replaced broken slate that was put here many years ago. I saved the ramp because it's in honour of FDR. FDR right up there. He had that built as a ramp. They said, "Oh, sir, we'll straighten it." I said, "No, you have to leave the ramp." It was built. That ramp was built for FDR with a wheelchair because, you know, it's a knot. It's pretty good slope. But a lot of people say, why is it a ramp? They say, because of FDR. They say, I get it. But we save that, but we replace the broken slate. And slate, by the way, is meant for a roof. It's not meant for a sidewalk. And we replace it with granite, the highest grade granite. It's valued at, you know, they value stones in terms of, that's valued at 1 million plus. That means 1 million plus years. A marble will oftentimes be valued at 200 years, 300 years. This giving you a little lesson in stone. Somebody would say he went off on a tangent. There's something wrong. Like I did with the pen. I gave you a little thing on the pen that pen is better than the one that cost 2,000 that you're handing to everyone. See, this one I can hand to these guys. That's worth $3. So anyway, but they said he went off in a tangent. If I always say, if you don't find it interesting, leave during the granite plaque. In fact, if you can let them leave through that door, it's just completed. We had it completed for King Charles, on time, on budget. I paid for it, so you know it's very expensive, I would say. He loved it. He loved it. Well, we're fixing the White House. But it was sort of terrible. People would walk to the Oval Office over broken slate. Again, slate is used on roofs. It's not used where people walk on it. And it's been walked on for a long time, and many broken pieces. So I said to do it right. Now the other thing I did, if you want to have a look, all of the columns, they had 200 years of paint on them. Wow. And they look terrible. And you know, they were chipped and broken. And when you have a lot of paint, and I stripped the columns back down to the original stone and painted them, and you'll see it. But you may want to, final touches, little touch-up here with the paint. Got a little hit by a couple of these heavy stones. You know, they're very heavy, thick granite. But that granite's valued at over 1 million years. In other words, in a lifetime. 1 million plus. That's your max. Why don't you walk out there and take a look? Okay? I think, and the company that did it, if you look at the setting, each point is perfect. So, take a peter, take a look. Tell your father if I did a good job. Thank you. So, that was it for today. Thanks for watching. I think I'll be back tomorrow with a new reading. Bye!